Good morning. Wednesday, I think that's today. Wednesday is Mercury's day, mercredi in French. I think that's so funny and kind of cool. The French were like, mercredi's day? Mercredi? Yes, mercredi. Wednesday, Mercury's day. How do we get from mercredi to Mercury? Who did that? Anyway, I'm here to give some cards to y'all. I hope that you have watched the reading I offered for the new moon, or no, full moon that was, and feeling like we need a little insight, some illumination, right? One thing I love about oracles is the way that they kind of turn on the lights for us. And alone in our conscious minds, in our bodies, our mind bodies, there's only so many things that we are consciously aware of that is in the forefront of our mind and the immediacy of our recalling. And the gift of oracles is to turn on the lights back here, to show us things that we would not otherwise see. And by being able to see those things, and to put energy towards processing and comprehension, that's wisdom, man. And it's kind of magical. So let's see what wisdom, insight, clarity, what lights can get turned on today for us. Let's set an intention for these cards to carry us through Friday, which I believe is the 27th. So I'll come back over the weekend and hopefully pull some more cards. But what clarity, what guidance, turning on the lights for us, right? Our next major lunation is the new moon in Leo. And Leo is not what we have kind of imagined it to be. I mean, capitalism really likes to reduce signs to consumption and the predetermined roles that have been established for people. So we get Leo as flaunting their hair and all of this vanity, but I know that if you pay attention while Leo transits are actually happening, like, you can definitely cultivate that for yourself at any given time. But the lights coming on is not fun often. Whole bunch of stuff there that you didn't know was there. And what happens when you become aware of aspects of yourself that you have denied or been unable to see? First thing we usually do, be like, that ain't me. It happens all the times in readings with clients. I will be reading their life down and I'll say, does that resonate? How does that sound? How is that feeling? No. And no less than 10 minutes later, they will be repeating back to me almost verbatim exactly what I just said. And maybe it just took a moment to click, to get past the defense of kind of preserving this image of himself. I mean, because that's what I often find Sidereal Astrology does, you know? It really dismantles the veneer of how you've conceived yourself, and it makes things really plain, which isn't always fun. One of the phrases that Jesus of Nazareth used to say was, "He that hath ears, let him hear. He that hath eyes, let him see." And we take that for granted. Not everybody has ears to hear and eyes to see, understand, comprehend, receive you or any wisdom that's offered. So let's see here. Okay, before I show you this card, I just want to say that I really do not come on here with any preconceived idea of what I want to talk about. I just open my mouth and let whatever flows out, flow out. And so I've just been talking about Leo and the sun, which is its ruling planet, and turning on the lights and being able to see clearly and bringing things into consciousness, and how oracles themselves can turn on the lights for us. And I said, he that hath ears, let him hear, and he that hath eyes, let him see. And of course, when I cut the deck, oh, the sun is there. This is another one of those cards. I mean, you know, oftentimes I kind of feel like I'm kind of too pessimistic or something, but I'm a realist and I'm very pragmatic in that I can't have an oracle or expect to see and read in cards or charts a reality that people just aren't experiencing, you know. And it feels good to be able to say, yes, you can manifest your dream life and all of those great things. But like, I'm living in this body, in this life, and in relationships, and paying attention to my loved ones and their lives in this world. And it's not like that. People, you know what I'm saying? It's a very rare occasion that people are in this place of powerfulness where their will and intention is in complete alignment with the time and the flow and the season that's happening. And oftentimes there's a lot of tension and resistance and capitalism and racism and COVID and misogyny and war and climate. Like, all of these things are happening at once. So how can I flip over cards and be like, yes, you are, right? And like, don't get me wrong, people are going to have their happy moments, and people are going to be able to sew together a fabric of joy with these disparate moments, but it's going to be some bullshit in between. You hear what I'm saying? Anyways, the sun here, that was all this to say, like, this ain't no love and light. If you want to love and light, that's cool. Go find it elsewhere. There are moments of love and light, but that's not really my ministry, is meaning I'm not trying to preserve that perspective or that feeling state, because that just turns into spiritual bypassing and repression as far as I'm concerned. So you got to let that stuff come up and come out. All right. And this is really what the sun card is about. You know, I talked about turning on the lights, and how often when you turn on the lights, you be like, oh, wait, hold on. Right. Did you really want to see what was really there? You had no idea what was really going on inside of you in this area of your life. In Sidereal Astrology, the sun is about focus and our attention. And even though I'm focusing on you right now, that does not make everything else around me disappear. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of things going on around me. But a true gift that we have is the capacity and the power. It is a power. I would even say it's a superpower for you and I to be able to focus our attention at will. This is an underestimated magical gift that we have. I can be feeling pain, debilitating grief, yet, for the most part, under most circumstances, I can divert my attention from my pain and my grief to something else. This is a superpower that you and I have. To be in the midst of a storm and to focus our attention on the horizon that's coming with clear skies. To see the debris and the wind and the destruction, but to focus our attention on the little sliver of light that's peeking through the first break in the clouds. That is a superpower. How are you using your superpower? Your superpower to focus your attention at will. And what are you focusing your attention on? This is not meant to avoid, suppress, erase, ignore, or deny the reality of all of the trials that are upon us individually and collectively in this moment. But it really does us no good to dig our noses into the depths of these problems, hoping a solution will arise magically. Like, some of this stuff is just happening and there's a little that we can do. But you and I are magical beings, and our greatest superpower is to be able to consciously, at will, redirect and focus our attention on something. So that's the question. What are you using your superpower for? All right. And this capacity to focus is the light. This ability to focus our attention at will is the light. Where are you shining the spotlight of your consciousness, of your attention? Attention is valuable. We all want it. Look at us on social media. Please look at me. Aren't I funny? Watch me climb these crates. Look at my mom. Didn't you see me prank her? Don't you like my clothes? Listen to my opinion. Watch my video. Listen to my song. See me, please. Attention is so valuable. Yet it is the thing that we weaponize against each other more than anything. We weaponize our attention against others more than any other capacity that we have. We either focus our attention on others to the point of humiliating them. They have no privacy. They cannot have secrets or solitude, or we withhold to teach a lesson, to put people in their place as a form of punishment, as a form of power over others. By withholding your attention from certain people and things, it's a form of power. It's a form of self-protection, right? I didn't mean to get that deep, but dang, the sun. It's giving lessons today. 6 of Cups. What an interesting, look at the sun in both of these cards, if I can hold them up at the same time. Look at that in both of these cards. This made me really think about, just as I looked at it, who's got their attention on you? Does it feel good? Do you like it? Does it feel good to be in someone's gaze? How does it feel to be the object of someone's focus? It really depends, right? Because sometimes you be like, hey, mind your business. Other times you're like, please, can you just acknowledge that I exist? I'm hearing very clearly, the 6 of Cups is often about people or things from the past resurfacing. And the question that I want to ask us today is, whose attention did you want so badly that you were willing to do anything for it? What were those things that you were willing to do to receive this person's attention? Did they give it to you? There is something that can be quite humiliating about craving, desiring, even being entitled to on some capacity, especially when we're talking about parents. But craving and desiring someone's attention, and they just will not give it to you. Acting like you just don't exist, inconsequential, invalidating you. It's so humiliating and so painful that culturally we have created so many ways to avoid being put in that humiliating position ever again. They tell us to not care what other people think of us, to do what you do irregardless of what anyone else is saying or doing, to numb yourself of the very human need for attention and validation. Yet every single thing we do, I mean, the function of social media is look at me. And it's the irony too of look at me and give me your attention while I'm telling you not to care about, actively seek out, or put any value in receiving attention and validation from other people. The irony. Listen to me. I am an authority on this topic of attention. Look at me. Don't you see me? I know what I'm talking about. And I'm going to use your time of focus on me to tell you that you should not seek out the... You need attention. You need to be validated. You need to be seen. You need to be acknowledged. And so I'm thinking of this moment where we have the sun and the Six of Cups as an opportunity to reconnect to the very childlike and innocent ways that we relish in the positive gaze. I mean, this is love. Do you hear me? When we are children, we are infants, pure. And our parent looks at us and just looks at us and just looks at us. Look at you. Look at that cute little nose. Look at your hair. I see a tooth. Look at those cheeks. Let me just bathing you in their gaze and their attention, and magnifying and relishing even the smallest, most inconsequential details of you. Do you see what a baby does when they get that attention? Oh, they smile from ear to ear like their cheeks are just going to expand and float away like balloons. An infant will fail to thrive without that attention, without being the center of someone's gaze. Do you know that even though you are 33 or 21 or 65 or 42, you still need to be at the center of someone's gaze in that way? You still need to be fussed over. For someone to notice not just you, but the little dimple right there when you smile. It's not a dimple on this side. It's only one on this side, right? And the way your eyes kind of barely open when you smiling real hard. You're just like this when you smile. You need somebody to notice those things. It makes you real to yourself. It validates the fact that you exist. And it makes it feel like, man, they care enough to acknowledge me. Who are you seeking attention from at this time? Who do you want to be seen? This is not something that you can give yourself, okay? So get out of here with all of that self-love stuff. If this is self-love, it's allowing yourself to be the object of someone's loving, unconditional gaze. Someone that looks at you and notices you and picks up on the small mannerisms and shifts and changes in your disposition. Feels good. That's what we're all seeking in love. To be noticed, to be seen. Will you allow yourself love? Will you allow yourself to be the center of someone's gaze? Now, guess what though? I'm gonna be real. For many of us, this is deeply triggering. It is terrifying to be caught up in the center of someone's gaze, even someone that we like, that we love, that we're attracted to, because we have been so deeply humiliated by negative attention, nitpicking, focusing too much on the negative stuff, putting us in positions to be publicly humiliated by our community or family. We don't want that kind of attention. And so it becomes very hard for our bodies to differentiate between the loving attention and the humiliating attention. So grace, that's what grace is for. Be easy with yourself. You can want it and still find it difficult to impossible, but little bits at a time, low stakes in friendships, right? Doing something you know you're really, 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 really good at, right? That you're sure about. It could just be walking down the street, on your job, project, whatever it may be, right? Safe spaces for you to be seen. But will you allow yourself to be the center of someone's gaze? We're not talking about what you're giving to anybody else. I'm very sure that you are excellent at doting and paying attention to someone else. But can you receive it? Can you? I don't know, man. I feel like these next few days will be quite a lesson for us in this, especially as we move forward here. Talk to me. I asked a few questions here, right? I asked about whose attention did you want so badly when you were a child or a teenager, maybe even in your very early 20s, and they just would not give it to you. No matter how hard you worked for it, they would not give it to you. But you know what? That is the one thing that you are not supposed to work for. Does a baby work for that loving gaze? No. It's the fact that they exist. That the parent is just, oh, look at that face. Oh, it's so cute. You got toes? How many toes? Now, of course, that can be infantilizing, and no one necessarily wants to be spoken to in that voice. But there's an equivalent that we experience in our friendships and relationships. I mean, you know who does this really well? Black folks, Black women, Black trans women, even non-binary Black folks. Ooh, I see you. I see you with the little razzle dazzle on your shoulders. Ooh, look at them specs. Sis is doing it. Come on, show it, right? This is exactly right. I mean, how many viral videos have we seen of, Black femmes and trans and non-binary people like just gassing up? Oh, dang, look at them kicks. Damn, she did the thing. Look at, throwing it, right? I mean, we have a whole culture around this gassing up and giving attention. Can you receive that, right? I don't know. But those are my questions. Hit me up in the comments. I want to hear about this. This is not something we talk about a lot, and we get a lot of advice to the contrary. So I'm sure this will hit differently from some folks, and I'm sitting here listening to it and remembering that, like, my son is 9 and he still wants me sometimes to be like, ooh, when he gets out of the bath, ooh, you smell like roses and butterflies. Let me smell your hair, right? He still wants those things, and he's kind of growing out of it because just his developmental phase, and he will seek it elsewhere in other relationships eventually. But as an adult, I want somebody to notice that I smell good. I want somebody to put their little nose all up in my neck. You want those things? What does that look like for you? What is positive attention look like for you? How do you want to be acknowledged, validated, and seen by the people who love you? Can you articulate that? Talk back to me. I hope you have a great day. I'm probably going to watch this video like 3 times because there were some serious gems dropped and I need to reprocess for myself, right? Yeah, I will talk to y'all soon. Like, share, comment, tip your reader. Cash App, PayPal link in the comments, description of this video. Share widely, share broadly, and talk back to me. Talk back to me. What does that positive attention look like for you? Whose attention did you really want that you never got? And how did that affect you and impact you? All right, we'll talk soon. Bye.